Some time ago, I was asked to interview the devil. I was expecting a large, menacing creature, but to my surprise, the devil was a virus, extremely small, a virus neutrino. And virus neutrinos, they hide inside the host proton electrons of the neutrons of atoms in all humans. And so all humans can have a good and evil personality. I was asked to interview virus neutrinos regarding the absorption of sex. And I said, sex is perceived by some people as something animalistic and shameful. And in most cases, it's only performed behind closed doors. Sex can also lead to great crimes like pedophilia and rape. Do you have anything to do with sex? And Virus Neutrino said, of course I have a lot to do with sex. Sex is very important to my power supremacy plans. I live to make huge copies of myself through infections and also to outnumber host protons electrons in the brain of humans. And sex is a great trap. I give people sexual pleasure in exchange for sexual diseases and babies. And I said, well, I can understand that sexual diseases will allow you to copy yourself in huge quantities, but why babies? And Virus Neutrino said, babies are a very important part of my plan for power supremacy. I make babies be born ignorant, not knowing that I am their biggest enemy. And I expect that baby to become part of my army of followers. And I said, well, how are you going to force a baby to love you and follow you? And Virus Neutrino said, simple really. If the parents conceive a child under the influence of drugs, including alcohol and tobacco, then that child will automatically have a majority of virus neutrinos in the brain, because drugs have heavier atoms and more virus neutrinos than host protons electrons. So that child will grow up liking things I like unprotected sex, drugs, and that child will also be able to recruit more people to my army through families and friends. And I said, so are you saying then that you control sex through sexual attraction, through babies, and through drugs? And Virus Neutrino said, yes, is my rule of 3. Drugs, sex, ignorant babies is the main thing that will allow me to have power supremacy. And I said, but what happens then when parents are not drug addicts or they are not sex addicts? How is your plan going to work then? And Virus Neutrino said, well, it doesn't really matter if the parents are not sex addicts or drug addicts, because the child they conceive will encounter drug addicts and sex addicts either at school or at work. And some of those children will end up following me, being part of my army. And don't forget that I also can control thoughts in people, and so many of those children will end up embracing pornography. And I said, So, how do you control sexual attraction then? And Varus Neutrino says, it's easy really. I put thoughts in people when they see someone. For example, nice legs, nice teeth. Even if they don't know each other, they can be sexual attraction controlled by me. It's called blind attraction. I can also manage to make people have a sexual obsession with somebody else that they have never met or have only seen through a video or a photo. And my aim is to make that person pursue a physical relationship leading to unprotected sex and ignorant babies. And I said, so do you control opposites attract as well? And Varus Neutrino said, yes, that's a very important part of my power supremacy. If you think about this, you will understand. If a non-drug addict falls in lust with a drug addict and they conceive a child, many things can happen that will help me have power supremacy. The non-drug addict may take in drugs influenced by the drug addict, and the child they conceive will have also heavy atoms passed to the brain with a majority of me. So as you can see, the position of the non-drug addict has been weakened, because why will a non-drug addict fall in lust with a drug addict unless it was controlled by me? And I said, well, but people need sexual reproduction to be able to have a family. How else would they do it? And Varus Neutrino said, I'm going to tell you a simple truth, because I am so confident that I control a majority of people on planet Earth through drugs and sex, that it doesn't really matter if I tell you, because nothing will change in the current state of affairs. And the simple truth is that if I didn't exist, if sex didn't exist, there will still be life, because hosts dark energy organisms, the fundamental creators of matter, they reproduce asexually. They clone themselves, creating an equal partner. Sex only exists when a virus infects a host. It requires two opposing types of organisms. But host dark energy organisms, they reproduce only equals. It's only done by hosts with no viruses. And in the dark energy kingdom, there are no ignorant babies. Because if you think about it, an ignorant baby, when it's born, can be at the mercy of adults that may not have their best interest at heart. So in the dark energy kingdom, they only produce equals with equal power and equal knowledge. Now, you might shout this truth: there is life without sex. And you can do that all over planet Earth, and most people will simply dismiss what you're saying. That is how much power I have on planet Earth, because I have a majority. And I said, so what is going to be your reward to your army of sex addicts? And Varus Neutrino said, destruction, of course. I will age and kill them. I will also destroy planet Earth eventually, and they will become extinct. What did you expect? I am the devil, after all. Until next time.